Oh, my mic's still moving. Oh no, it's all good. Can everybody hear me? We're having technical difficulties. Can't you tell? I'm just kidding. But we're having a great day at Wellness Wednesday. We are in my home. This is Kathy. I'm Crystal. Go ahead, Kathy.
Oh, we're just here because we're going to have a special treat for you guys today. I'm excited about today because I never eat anything outside of fruits, vegetables, and meats. And so we're going to have a keto cookie today that I might be able to partake. So I'm kind of excited about today. It's a chocolate chip walnut cookie, and I'm already salivating.
I know. I'm like ready to already get there and try cakes.
Exactly.
So but we have a special guest on our show today. We've had her here before, Miss Keto Jan. Mm-hmm. And I'm just super excited. We go way back. We're friends. I think you guys have heard her before. She's taught a little bit about keto diet and stuff. And she shared her recipe last time that we're going to be making today. So
we're excited about that. All right. So how's everybody's day been? Hopefully their day has been, you guys, it's beautiful outside. I think, though, in the Midwest, it's going to be like in the 90s plus for the next week. So no rain, no nothing. So please stay cool and hydrated. And don't get that heat exhaustion. If you're outside, and your dogs, your pets, please make sure that they're the same way. We don't want anybody falling out of the work.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is, you know who Crystal is, but we always open the show with her telling us who she is, what she does, and why we do Wellness Wednesday. That it's not going to change today. So go ahead, Miss Crystal.
All right. Well, I am Crystal Dominguez, and I'm a natural health and herb specialist. And the reason I do this is because years ago, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and it got me on my deathbed, basically. And what the doctors were doing, it wasn't helping. I tried the medications, I tried the steroids, I did all those things, but that wasn't the answer for me. They wanted to do surgery, all kinds of stuff. So I found the natural way, changed my diet and lifestyle, nutrition, and became, this natural health and herb specialist because of that. Because I wanted to show people there's a better way. You don't have to always be sick and tired, and we can do that with herbs and nutrition. We can help you feel better.
Yeah. And I'm learning that we don't have to live with certain ailments. We can get rid of some things, and that's one of the things that we teach on, and that our subscription program is about. So, you guys like, share, and just talk about these videos because they're pretty amazing. So, we are going to introduce Miss Jan right now. So, oh, cool.
Yes. All right. Well,
I love it. All right. So let's say Miss Jane, Miss Keto Jan is what we call her. She is amazing. She's been on keto for several years and has been successful with her weight being stabilized, which is pretty amazing. She has good dental because of the no sugar, no carbs, all that stuff. It's so important. It's so amazing what we eat, how it affects everything. But so anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and introduce her and say, hello.
All right. Well, let's go get in the kitchen.
All right. Why not? I know you guys are looking at this. There's a zebra back here wondering, where is she and what is she doing? So yeah. So we're gonna help her cook. No, we're not. She's gonna do everything. But we're just gonna watch her as she does it. So is there any way that we can make the screen bigger on this side so that you see as she's dumping the ingredients in?
Hold on, I'm just gonna back it up just a little bit.
No, that's good. We're good. All right, let's just go ahead and start off. Anything you want? First of all, let's ask her why she got into keto, how successful it is, and who is it good for and who is it not good
for. All right. So I got started 4 years ago on keto, but before that, I had been experimenting with low carb type diets, and I just figured out for myself I really needed to have lower carbs than what the programs that I had been teaching had. So that's when I decided to kind of go all in with keto. I also wanted something that was going to really not allow me to cheat, because once you go through the process of becoming keto adapted, you don't want to go through all that again. So I wanted something that I could just totally get the sugar out and keep the sugar out. And that's what I have been successful at for sure. It's been over 4 years now, and I'm never going back. So,
yeah.
What was the other thing you wanted me to say?
Oh, what's it good for?
Oh, yeah. So it's probably one of the most least inflammatory diets there are out there. So it's great for people that have inflammatory diseases. It's great for them to just, you know, and like Dr. Berry calls it, the proper human diet. And I really totally see it that way, at least for myself.
Yeah.
It's really the proper human diet. So,
How many people have you helped over the years?
oh, many. And I work at a place where I talk to people every day. So
Awesome.
I get to, you know, help a lot of people that way too. But yeah, I've helped a lot of people over the years and look forward to helping a lot more with a course that I have that I'm working on that hopefully will be out in October, I'm hoping. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Where we can just tap into her knowledge and figure it out ourselves. So that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So let's
All
start with these cookies because I want to eat. I haven't had a cookie in so many months. It's not even funny.
Well, I've really worked hard on this recipe. I've worked.
So
You
this
know,
is your creation?
I took a basic recipe and then I've tweaked it and I've added things and taken things out
Oh,
and
yeah.
so something even like xanthan gum was in the original recipe. But then I started reading up on it and it really sometimes it's a problem for some people. And I found that the cookie didn't seem that much different having it there and not having it there. It might be a little crispier.
So explain
But-
to them what xanthan gum
So
is.
It's xanthan gum is commonly used in gluten-free cooking.
Right.
It's kind of a binder.
Binder, maybe a thickener.
And then a thickener, yeah. So, but I thought, well, regular chocolate chip cookies don't have xanthan gum.
Yeah.
And even though we are using a flour that is not the gluten, so which is the glue, which would be like the
Right.
xanthan gum is kind of taking its place, it still really works really well without the xanthan gum.
And I'm gonna tell you what, you guys know that we do sea moss. And sea moss would add some moisture to anything that you cook. So I'm excited about doing this cookie recipe and then trying to somehow one day get some sea moss in there for the,
Yeah, maybe.
for the moisture.
That's
We'll see. We'll
a
see.
new trend for sure.
We can definitely test some things out.
Yeah, we definitely, especially sea moss. Sea moss got a lot of potential. All right. So what's the first ingredient?
All right, so we're just gonna put the butter in. So we've got 8 tablespoons of butter. It's already been sitting out, so it's softened. And then we're going to add the sweetener, which is, I prefer the monk fruit combination with the erythritol. I like the golden one. They have a classic one that's more like the, it's more like the white sugar. This is more like the brown sugar, so it has that kind of a flavor to it. That's more like brown sugar. So for some people, erythritol sometimes causes a little more gas, and by having the combination of the monk fruit and the erythritol, I think it kind of puts that down a little bit, so it's not quite as problem.
So exactly what is this?
So it's erythritol and monk fruit.
What is it?
It's a sweetener.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
people
natural
don't know
sweetener.
you guys,
Right.
so I'm trying to get her to pull out that.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a
It's a
natural
place
sweetener.
of sugar, you guys.
It is. It is, but it does not raise blood sugars. So, yeah.
Good.
So this is 3/4 of a cup. Yeah. And then it's
It smells like
Molasses.
Dump that in there.
Now she already
Pre-measured.
she pre-measured that, so this is the whole thing.
Yes.
Let's do it.
That was
She dumped it all in there. No, she
That-
pre-measured that at
yes,
home. you
that
guys.
was 3/4 of a cup. Okay.
3/4 of a cup.
3/4 of a cup. So now I'm just gonna cream this here together.
And it's gonna be noisy.
Yes, it will be noisy.
All right.
Yeah, so you want it nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
good and fluffy.
All right.
Then we're gonna add in the egg.
Right. 1 egg.
And I'm gonna mix that up again.
that this is real time, y'all. Okay, live.
Obviously.
Real time here.
That's all right.
Like,
Let's try it one more time.
Oh, of course.
All right. Then we're gonna add the almond flour. This is a 1.5 cups. Yeah. And so almond flour, when you're making something like cookies, well, most recipes, you're gonna want a blanched almond flour. So, and you really want to what is it?
Finally.
Fine sifted. I don't know what the word was. Finely sifted is better if you're going to have better results with that. All right, so we got, oops, that's all right. Now I'm going to put that in. I'm going to go ahead and put the salt of the baking soda. We got 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda.
So baking soda is just normal.
Yep. And we got,
Or any hammer, you guys.
yes. And so then we have the Redmond's real salt. So sea salt is not all equal, okay? I really love this Redmond's real salt because it comes from an old ancient seabed in Utah. Okay. So it's not an active place where there's water. So that since there's so much pollution and concerns with the plastics and all these things that are in our waters now, this comes from an ancient seabed that has not had water in it in a long time. So it's just full of all the minerals. You got all the little flecks in it. It kind of almost looks like the Himalayan, but it's not quite as pink.
Yeah. How many?
So this
is say how many tablespoons.
I did.
Okay, baking soda. Okay.
Baking soda was 3/4 teaspoon.
Okay.
The salt is a 1/2 teaspoon.
So half a teaspoon.
Half a
salt.
teaspoon.
And then
salt.
how much was the almond
Flour.
Almond flour was a 1.5 cups.
cup and a half? Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, and you know, the recipe is really pretty forgiving. So if you're just kind of scooping, like I usually use a 3/4 scoop in my almond flour and do 2 of them, but I don't always, it's all right. But I don't always like scrape it off. I just scoop it in. It's all good. With a cookie recipe, it's pretty forgiving. You don't necessarily have to have that. So, yeah, so I'm going to mix all this in. Yeah, I can put the vanilla in.
And how much was it?
And this is, I believe it's 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
2 spoons of vanilla extract. And I think that'll be it. And I'm going to mix it up some more.
All right.
It smells delicious, you guys. So that's really wonderful. I can really smell the sugar.
Let me tell you.
All right. All right, so the last thing we got our chocolate chips. So I used Lily's chocolate chips. They are, I think, 55% cacao. They have a lot of different varieties. They're starting to come out with too, so I'm excited to start experimenting with some other different ones. But these are made with that same erythritol sweetener, and I think some stevia. So they're, again, it's natural sweet.
Tell me about cacao. Some people don't know.
So yeah, so cacao is it's a really healthy benefit to chocolate, which is the cacao is the raw form of chocolate. But when you're buying chocolate, you know, they'll usually tell you what percent the cacao value is. Like if I'm buying a chocolate bar, I prefer to buy at least 70%. And that's not too dark where it's like, oh my gosh, it's so bitter, I can't stand it. It's a good flavor, but sometimes when you get to the 55 or 40 or whatever, then it's going to cause more cravings for one thing, because it is going to taste sweeter and have, you know, and not have as much healthy benefits like the cacao.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just going to dump that one in, and then I have 1.5 cups of walnuts. So you don't have to put walnuts if you don't want walnuts. I have used pecans as well before, so it's good that way. But I really love the walnuts better. Besides this, you're getting a lot more extra omega-3s.
There you go.
And fiber.
Yeah, and we don't get enough omega-3s, most of the people, in their diet. So it's a good addition. It helps to bulk up the cookie. It helps to make it so that you get more cookies. You can eat more cookies.
I'm taking it. That's so. I don't know that yet.
And I do 1.5 cups.
To you guys.
Yeah.
Coarsely, but you can do it as fine as you want. You can do it as coarse as you want. So yeah.
And I'm just going to hand turn this one in here. It works pretty well. Just scoop it in there.
Right. Looking good, looking good.
Ah,
I'm so excited to try these cookies, guys.
I'm going to.
yeah, we're done with it. So
Yeah.
good. You know, if you like more chocolate chips, you can always add more chocolate chips.
There you go.
If you don't want as many, you don't have to have as
That would
many.
be good. in it.
Yes, I have actually also put the keto granola in here, make it kind of a calorie.
Okay, I like that.
I did that in place of the walnuts when I've done that. It probably adds it more calories.
Okay.
So here's the other thing about this is, you know, keto treats are good, but it's easy to eat too many. And these are, I think, what is it, 12 grams? Where's the picture?
I think that's what you said.
I think it's 12 grams of carbs. I believe in counting total carbs. So, but you can always subtract. I allow people to subtract the erythritol and stevia
Okay.
stuff. So I think that was
One cookie is 150 calories, with 12 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of protein, 14 grams of fat, and 3 grams of fibers.
all right. And I like to use this cookie scoop just because it makes them uniform, and then I usually can make 2 dozen that way. So I'm just
Oh, by the way,
Literally.
we're using a non-stick cookie,
parchment paper.
a non-stick cookie sheet, and we're using parchment paper because we're using it that way.
Yeah.
So, you guys, parchment paper is really important to cook with instead of aluminum foil. So, if you would start doing that, it will be beneficial to you and your family. If you don't want aluminum under your arms for for your deodorant, you don't want to have your food wrapped in aluminum foil. Plus, it's really bad for the environment. We don't even talk about aluminum foil being bad for the environment, but it truly, truly is.
Yeah.
So use parchment paper or butcher's block paper because either or both are good to actually cook with.
Good tips. Good tips.
Thank you.
Oh, I mean, those are gonna be so good.
They are
Good, nice, big cookie size too. Love it.
Here's the second one. We're gonna cook them all at the same time, guys. I mean, who's playing around here? Not us. It really does smell good, you guys. I can smell the vanilla in it. I can smell the brown, the molasses smelling of the of the sweetener, which is again, what's the name of it?
It's monk fruit.
Monk fruit,
And it's
yes.
a combination of monk fruit and erythritol.
Yes.
So, so if anybody's interested, also I have a free keto quick start guide that's on my website now, and which is en4l.com. And it's right on that first page. It has a link where you have to opt into my email, but then it gets you a link to the quick start guide, so you could get started, or at least have a little bit more information if you wanted to.
Or
think
if
about
you
getting
guys
started.
want to, just get in touch with me and Crystal. Just, you know, okay. She's so talented. Oh, Crystal Ann.
So say it your website one more time.
EN4L. I always capitalize the L so people know it's an L and not a 1.
Exactly.
.com.
Okay.
Essential nutrition for life. That's what it stands for. And how about that? See, we got perfect 2 dozen cookies.
Awesome. That was quick and easy.
It was.
All right, Crystal.
So that is Jan's website, en4l.com.
No, I did it this way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that went long ways.
All right.
Okay.
So, how long will it take for them to cook, Miss Jan?
It is 12 to 15 minutes. So depending on her
So
oven.
we didn't do the timer.
Let's do the time.
Yeah.
Oops, want to check it at 12?
Well, let's check it at 12. I don't know how your oven is. So.
And do they come out crispy or how do they come out?
So they're going to be soft at first. I like to let them sit for quite a while to cool, but my husband still likes to eat them when they're. But you know, because they're not gluten, you do have to be careful that you let them cool enough, or they will just fall apart.
Yeah.
Right,
Because
right.
there really was only one egg in there.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of times the binding agent that people use or substance and what. But yeah, only one egg. That's not very many at all.
Yeah, that's a typical cookie recipe, though. If you look at, I mean, even the standard Toll House cookie recipe. So I will say,
Okay.
I had a lady the other day. This was really interesting, and a lot of people just don't realize, but she was having problems with losing weight. And she's like, I don't understand. I'm not eating very many carbs. So I'm like going through, what does she eat? So she has these 2 cookies every day.
Oh.
And I said, okay, so what are these cookies? She says, well, I make them for this youth group, and I always keep 2 for myself. And so I said, well, what cookies? And she says, well, they're these really good chocolate chip cookies made.
Okay, we're back. Go ahead, Jan.
I left the studio because I wanted us to be on the screen
perfect.
and not, just seeing our bellies.
Sure.
Okay. So anyway, I was talking to this client, and she was frustrated that she wasn't losing weight. She was eating low carb, and she's like, I can't figure this out. And I asked her, are you eating, sugar stuff? Are you eating treats? What are you eating? So she says, well, every day I have these 2 cookies. I make these cookies for a youth group. They love them. They're just really great cookies. And I'm like, well, so what do you make these cookies? Well, they're made with Crisco. And her main concern was her cholesterol levels were not changing.
Oh.
And I said, those are trans fats.
Yeah.
That is the bad fats that you don't want. I said, that may be, if you're having 2 of those cookies every single day, you're eating all those trans fats, which are causing your cholesterol to have a problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, either start making them all with butter, which I would do anyway, because you're not doing all of those youth people that you're giving these cookies to a favor. But I do know that there is a specific chocolate chip cookie recipe that uses Crisco that my sister has done the same thing. Everybody loves my cookies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're making all these cookies for everybody that are really unhealthy. I mean, it's not just a regular chocolate chip cookie. This is a cookie with Crisco in it. But I use the butter.
Butter's better anyway.
She was going to start using butter and see if she had a better result with that. She says, at least for her own cookies, she was going to use butter. I'm like,
so, Crystal, I'd like for you to tell them how you make your pancakes. Now, we don't necessarily have to make them today, but one day we will. Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to Jan's cookies, and I do use like keto, like the almond flour and stuff like that. But yeah, I use just the almond flour. There's eggs in it. There's I do some vegan mayo. And I do it depends on what flavor I want. But I'm always going to add vanilla extract.
Yeah.
I always add a little bit of sea salt. And then the next things that either go in are cinnamon, or I might do some cacao powder to make it chocolate. Sometimes I might do some lemon zest to make it like a lemon pancake, and then we put some fruit on top, some berries, raspberries. But yeah, it's very simple. It's just like literally eggs, almond flour, and there's baking powder in it too as well. And then you have your mayonnaise, and then your seasoning, whatever you want.
So you guys, you can definitely start cooking with almond flour and get rid of the wheat flour.
Or any type of other white flours.
Yeah.
They're so high in carbs. It's full of gluten, which causes leaky gut syndrome. There is one factor to it.
Yeah.
So it's just a healthier, and it's guilt-free.
More than what it would normally be.
Yeah, to me it's guilt-free. Way guilt-free, because when you're eating like a pound cake with nothing but, butter, sugar, and flour, I have never, I'm going to try it, especially the finely one. Can you hand me that back?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm going to try my pound cake. If anybody's ever had my pound cake, everybody dies from my pound cake. It is so good. And I have done several things with my pound cake as well, like put lemon glaze on top of it. Oh my God.
Yum.
In the middle, I used to put sugar and cinnamon in the middle. And then, oh my God. And with that butter on top. Oh my God. But I'm going to try my best to use the monk fruit sugar.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I did before my grandmother passed away. I wouldn't make her a pound cake and bring it to St. Louis. but it was the old traditional one, except for that I used xylitol.
Okay, so that's
And so what they did was they would freeze the whole cake and cut it up for her. And then every time she wanted a treat, she would get it. But that was because she was a diabetic.
okay,
So I wish I had known about this
right.
because I could have helped her a lot better. She could have had a better,
Yeah.
a little healthier.
Yeah,
some
less
treat.
carbs, for sure.
Yeah.
And
But she was good, you guys. I didn't, her blood sugar was great. She never went on insulin or anything like that. So I didn't kill her. If you're wondering that.
Well, I just kind of want to like go over almond flour real fast. I'm just like looking at the nutrient facts right here in the ingredients, and almond flour, it says right here, for a serving of a fourth cup, it literally only has 5 carbs, 3 grams of fiber. It only has 1 sugar. It's not added sugars. It's just naturally from the almonds. And then you have 6 grams of protein. Versus like, I don't have any regular flour to read off the ingredients, but normal flour would probably have 30 or more carbs in it, maybe, or maybe even more than that. Like this is like 5 carbs. So
well, go in your cabinet and look at your flour. You got some.
and it shows you that you actually have recipes on the back. In case you don't know what to make whatever's on the back. It might work. And then you can play with it. But yeah, you can buy almond flour anywhere. I think I got this probably at Sam's Club.
Sam's, guys. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Now, this is super important. I do kind of want to like, I know you touched a little bit on this before, but we used to have a sea salt that we used that was almost just similar, like it had some celery seed in it and everything. And this would be the next best step because it literally has all those minerals Jan was talking about, even more than Himalayan sea salt. So real salt is really good.
And where do you get that from, Dan?
So I bought that at Sprouts.
Okay.
But you can buy it online or
Okay.
pretty much most grocery stores, or at least health food stores anyway.
Yeah.
And that's
So
the
can
thing.
you do me a favor and get the chocolate chips? out of
Yes,
that?
I mean, we're good.
And that's the thing now, you guys. Like, I remember years ago, I had to go gluten-free and all these things. And it was really hard to find gluten-free items. But really, anywhere in the store has these items now. You can go pretty much anywhere.
But be careful about gluten-free because they're high in sugar.
Yes, that's true.
And high in carbs.
And
There's
high
a
in
bunch of
That's true.
rice and tapioca and a lot of things that are really not so good.
Right.
And that's why I like to incorporate more like the keto version too, because and also you can do vegan as well. Like Jan was saying, she used butter in her cookies, and I can make a vegan butter that I make all the time, so you can substitute that. So just
Coconut oil. You can
Yeah.
use
Oh, yeah.
coconut oil.
That's true.
and refined. I'll let you know that refined coconut oil might not be the best coconut
Right.
oil, but it has no coconut flavor. So if you're wanting to make something out that coconut flavor, the naturally refined coconut oil is what you want to get.
Yeah. So the chocolate chips here, yeah. You can.
Oh yeah, just real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, the Lily's dark baking chips. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
I think I actually have some Lily's in my refrigerator right now.
Oh, really?
Something similar. Let me even see. I might have some like white chocolate chips.
Yeah, I mean, and they're coming out with new flavors too. I haven't seen them at the store, but somebody said they had chocolate mint, which I like. No, there's a caramel one.
I've used like these before.
Do you use that in your pancakes?
Okay. Yeah. No, I do have it. We can even add this and white chocolate.
Yes.
So there is like white chocolate Lily's baking chips, and those are obviously no sugar added.
So what do you use in your pancakes?
In my pancakes,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I will add some of these chocolate chips. That's what I have on hand. But if I had the Lily's, I'd probably just use the Lily's. These are Enjoy Life, and these are actually gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free.
Are these gluten-free? Oh, okay.
The only difference between Lily's and the Enjoy Life is that I think the Enjoy Life is dairy-free versus Lily's has a little bit of butter in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and we got these just to try, like we don't eat them often, but we keep it in our fridge so that it stays fresh. And then there's a Ziploc bag, of course, in the field. Yeah. But yeah, you can get all kinds of.
So what we're saying, you guys, is there's options. You don't have to be stuck with that stuff for one. And for the other, when you get good stuff, you have options. It's not a one stuff, You
Right.
have to have one thing. No. It's not boring anymore.
It's not
This is
boring.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so when you do start eating well, you're gonna be like, man, I don't miss eating that. And I was talking to a gentleman yesterday who lives in Asia. And I was telling him because he was saying how he likes to put sugar in his coffee.
Oh.
And I told him, when you clean your liver, when you detox your liver, you don't even want that stuff anymore. And it was hard for me to believe that because I love ice cream and cookies and all the good stuff. So I thought it was good. It was good tasting, but not good for me.
Yeah.
And so when I started cleaning out my liver, I did not crave sugar. And the more sugar we eat, you guys, the more sugar we crave.
Yeah.
And that is why. And then that's the other thing too is when you're eating diet sodas, diet whatever, with the bad saccharin and all the bad sweeteners that are in there.
Aspartame.
What that does is it makes you want sugar.
Yeah. It tricks your mind.
It tricks your mind, you guys. And so if you're craving a candy bar right after you eat or after you drink a diet soda, it's because you're craving that stuff because it's causing you to want it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff that goes on with these foods that we don't know about.
Right. I can smell this, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just saying again.
Oh, yeah. If we had television, you guys would be here knocking on our door.
I have not had chocolate chip cookies. I don't know, years maybe. Just because I don't know the last time I had a cookie. Because it's always
I'm the
gluten.
same way. I'm the same way. I haven't had a cookie in I don't know how long either, actually.
And it's only
Well, I think you're going to be wanting to make these.
I
I think I am too. Ooh, we hear something dinging.
a little bit longer.
I mean, we'll see what they look like.
A little bit
A little
longer.
bit longer.
Okay, they're teasing us.
Look, it's 1:11
All
right
right.
now. Make a wish.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be good.
I get that all the time. 11 is my favorite.
There we go.
I get that a lot of
So how
times.
many more minutes do you think? Three?
Let's
Okay.
try 3.
All right.
Everybody's oven's different, so you just
Yeah.
have to. And when you got 2 pans in there at one time,
Yeah.
we're just trying to save because it's hot and we turn
Yeah.
the oven off as soon as we can. So
I'm so excited
There
to
you
try
go.
all this. I'm gonna be making this. I'm sure my daughter would love these chocolate chip cookies.
So what other recipes do you have that you can share with us?
So I have a ice cream recipe.
What?
Next show.
Yeah, I think that's on my blog as well. I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, I mean, those are the 2 main
Excuse
ones
me.
that I have that I, perfected of my own.
Right.
I like to do a lot of other ones, but I would say too, even if you're just trying to be gluten free and not mess with keto, you can still look up any keto recipe
Yes.
and they're going to be gluten free.
A substitute.
Because yes, it doesn't mean you have to do a keto diet to
Yeah.
do a keto recipe.
That's
But
true.
That's facts.
every keto recipe should have no wheat in it. Now, just remember too, there's a lot of products out there for sale now that say keto friendly.
Yeah.
They a lot of times have wheat gluten in them.
Or
So-
sugar.
And yes, and beware because start reading your labels. If it says keto friendly, I think every product that I've seen at Costco that says keto is not keto.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
You
ridiculous
guys.
of how much sugar is in these products and they're using wheat gluten. And
Right.
one of something I looked at the other day had wheat gluten, wheat something else, wheat fiber. I mean, it was like, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, people, this is not.
So how do you
So-
know? That's the thing. How do you know?
Yeah. You just don't want gluten. So,
I guess what
wheat
she's
is
saying
always gluten.
It's
so
read the back of the package.
wheat is the thing you want to look for, and sugar.
Sugar.
Anytime it's an added sugar,
Mm-hmm.
you just want to stay away. Or look at the ingredients. Sometimes it'll say 0 added sugars, but in the ingredients it says cane sugar or coconut sugar.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's not a large enough amount, they don't have to even put it on the label.
Yeah.
They can say 0 grams of sugar, but yet it's one of the ingredients.
Yep.
See, now that's not fair.
It's
I
not
will
fair.
say though, I
It's
will
not.
say if you're not doing keto, those still are better
They are
choices.
all
I
better
agree.
choices. Yes.
Better
That is
choices.
true.
They're low carb.
Yeah.
Okay, they are low carb.
Low
That
carb.
is true.
But if
And
you're
less
gluten free, you can't do them anyway. But yeah, it's definitely
And I would say even though there's like, let's say there's a tad bit of sugar,
sure.
that's still better than you eating 20 grams of
Yes,
sugar.
yes.
And and I believe we're only supposed to have, is it carbs or sugar? Only 24 grams of sugar a day.
Sugar, yes.
Yeah, for a
For
woman.
women.
For women, it's like 24 grams of sugar daily. That's the maximum you should ever have. So you can count for your fruits you're eating and all your other foods that have sugar, and then if you eat other stuff. And then a man is like 36, 32, 32 maybe?
I'm not gonna see.
And how much is it?
I think it was like 28 or
28? That might be right. Don't quote me on that, guys.
Just give it 2 more minutes.
You want to
I was
one
gonna
on
say-
top of the other?
You could if you want.
Oh, switch them around.
Yeah, just the bottom.
So they're switching it around, y'all. It smells so good in here.
There we go. Maybe 1 or 2 more minutes?
So let's do 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be
Oh, right. Almost, guys. Almost. It's almost that time.
Which, by the way, the gas stoves and electric stoves also cook differently.
Right.
And we have a gas stove here, so that could be another reason why we're adding on. Yeah.
electric at home.
So there's a huge difference between cooking with gas and electric. So that is probably why we're having to adjust it. Not only because there are 2 trays in there, but also because of the gas stove. Gas is always better to me.
I do like that.
I miss cooking with gas, but yeah.
Gas is pretty even though too. Like I like to cook with gas stoves because it makes an more even cook. I feel like, and then also on top of the stove top, you don't have to wait for it to cool down. You
That's
just
right.
turn off the heat, and you can
That's
control
right.
it more easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why I just love gas stoves.
Yeah,
Love
I know. I miss the good old days when I had to cook with gas. So,
It's almost
but the next house I build,
Mm.
yeah, baby, I'm gonna have gas stove. And have you ever seen where you can fill up a pot from the wall right over by
Oh, I think
Yes.
yes, because
Yes.
in the restaurant, we own restaurants, and we do have this little water thing that you can put the water right in the stove.
Exactly. Only it's in a house. I saw that in a couple of houses, and I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
That's
That's
pretty
what I'm
cool.
gonna do next time.
Because when we go to the corporate kitchen that we work in, there's this little
Yeah.
nozzle you can put
Exactly. You just bring it down and
Yeah, there's
fill
no
up
need
your
to carry-
pots from there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's no need to carry
There's
heavy
no
pots and cans
carrying
of water.
heavy.
You just
That's right.
love that. That's
My
nice.
next house.
And I picked up some kitchen stuff, like, because we have restaurants, and I picked up some little things. Because, like, in a restaurant, you always have a sanitizer bucket
Yeah.
in your kitchen. I was like, wait a minute, I'm always cooking, always cleaning. Why would I not have a sanitizer
That's
bucket?
right.
So it's just a lot easier to, like, wipe down counters. And
Which, by the way, tell us what's in your sanitizer bucket,
Oh,
please.
okay. So I use different things sometimes. I do not use chemicals or least amount of chemicals. I do sometimes use my Dawn soap and vinegar. That's a mixture that I use, and I just put a little bit there, maybe some enzyme spray. So there's an enzyme spray I use, and it helps heat
Break
up
down
stuff.
the,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then there's other times where I'll use another thing. It's with essential oils and a natural soap. I won't say brand names here. But there's that, and I'll put a little vinegar, and again, some enzyme, and the rest is water. Or I also love another one. I will say this because I get it from my friend. She does Norwex. And
Yes.
they have, and it's a natural cleaning company. And it's super simple. It's actually their detergent they have. I love it. You can use it for multi-purpose. You just get a little bitty, tiny, like maybe a fourth of a teaspoon or something. You put it in your bucket of water, and that's your sanitizer. You can always add like essential oils. And I like to use the essential oils I like to use are like lemon and peppermint sometimes, or lavender. It just depends on what you want to smell too. But lemon will break up things.
Yeah.
But lemon breaks up stuff easier. So if you have grime on your countertops and stuff, and it's also good for your wood. So lemon's really good for that.
So do we need 2 more?
One over here and then one over there. I can see which one else.
Get a little bit brown the ball. That's
all right.
Different ovens.
Yeah, different ovens.
And that was the one that was on the bottom first.
Here we
So
go.
that's not worse than that one.
It's
So
gonna be
I
good.
guess I can.
It's gonna be good. Gotta give you a spatula. Here we go.
Those ones definitely look better.
That's where
Can we see? Yeah, we can see from that one, can't we?
Those ones better?
Yeah. Well, they're not as brown on the bottom. This one's because this was on the bottom rack.
Okay, let's show this. So bring it to the, watch out everybody. Come around it. Don't you want to see this? Oh, she could smell this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Homemade. Look at this lady behind me who made this. Look at this. So good. Smells good, y'all.
Yeah.
Smells real good.
Well, and I'm a butter girl anyway, so I'm gonna have to learn how to make the keto butter for real.
Oh,
I know, right?
Vegan butter.
That's what I meant to be. Well, it's keto too.
oh, it is keto too. You're right.
Hey, y'all.
Vanilla almond milk. If you want milk cookies. Milk and cookies, guys. I'm a kid. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So they raised pretty good, you guys. I kind of, when I turn this back on, maybe now I think we're good.
We're just gonna be eating in front of you in a minute. That's all. Letting it cool.
I'm gonna get the fan over here. Maybe
Yeah,
cool down.
That'll work. Help it cool a little faster. Man, this was a great Wellness Wednesday. I'm super excited to try these cookies. Me and Kathy have been looking forward for Jan coming over, I don't know, for like the last month now.
Since the last time she was on.
I know, and we're like, we need to get those cookies made. And she's like, she has perfected this recipe, you guys. This is a great recipe. And I have to tell you, I didn't need to tell you, my mother tried your recipe and she said it was wonderful.
Which, by the way, you guys need to follow Crystal's mom.
On Pinterest.
You
and
really
stuff.
do.
Yeah, she posts a lot of keto recipes.
She really does.
Because she tries them all. She really does. She likes to get in her kitchen and make different things because she wants to stay on track just like Jan. And she does get some good ideas from Jan too, because Jan's an expert. But yeah, I'm so excited. So do you want, let me get some plates for us.
Yes, ma'am. So do you think that we can move them yet?
She's like, probably not, but
Yeah, they're really tricky.
You know what? Is it okay to pull them off of this?
It's tricky. Oh, you mean just the paper? Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know about that. You can try.
That way to cool down quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. That's what
There you go.
teamwork makes teamwork.
yes. There we go.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's another tip, you guys. If you're using parchment paper, you can pull them off of the hot cookie sheet and they'll cool down quicker.
Or get a cookie wrap, unlike Crystal. We don't have them here.
Actually, that's a true statement.
See?
That's
Costco.
true.
That's where I have to go. I'm going there today, by the way, to get me some.
It's a cooling wrap. You can use it for your cakes as well.
Yeah.
But cooling wraps are really, that's true. I should have brought mine had I known. I'd have brought some. And they're about the same size as this anyway, so I sure could have. But anyway.
I do like this though because like I do like to take like little recipes. I'm not a baker, by the way. I am a chef, like cook here, not a baker. Totally different thing. But baking, it's a science, and I always.
It is a science.
I always,
That is true.
Yes, that's why it's like because when I cook, I'm like, yeah, throw a little bit of this in here, a little bit of
That's
that,
true.
and I taste them. Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
You know, but if I did that with baking, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Be in
true.
real big trouble. So just make sure you follow the recipes because they can make. I just love little recipes like this. I like to have the best ones on hand. Nothing. Don't give me some okay tasting stuff. Give me this right here.
Yeah. I like to play around with our recipes though, and I have done that even with baking. And that's what I mean, by the way, is baking. Like when I make my own flour, my own what do you call it? Pie crust, you guys. When I make my own pie crust, I make it with butter. I don't make it with Crisco, which is what they are telling you should do.
Right, yeah.
And it comes out so freaking crispy, you guys. It's so amazing. But it doesn't call that. That's not called for in the recipe. So it's Crisco.
All the old recipes, a lot of them call for Crisco.
Yeah.
And I remember even when I was younger, starting to substitute butter every time I was Crisco.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So just things that you get. I don't want any. Thank you.
I do. I'm a kid, you guys. Fine then. I'll drink those milk.
I'm a water drinker, so I have my water over there.
It's like peanut butter jelly, chocolate and peanut butter. You cannot make milk and cookies without milk.
Oh my gosh. But it's almond milk. It's not cow milk.
It is unsweetened almond milk, so no sugar added.
We can ask your daughter if she wants to come out and get one. Oh, you want to take one?
She won't want to come out here.
Oh, she wants
She's not beautified yet, though. So that's what in her eyes. Not yet.
All right, so I'm ready to taste it. It's
I'm
gonna
ready.
be warm, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
it's
do
okay.
warm.
Yeah,
I can do warm.
I'm ready.
and it is a little overdone.
It's okay.
Mm-mm. Oh, good.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
I'm just getting over my waist mine.
That's pretty good.
Just saying.
And you gotta love walnuts.
Oh
to
my
like
God. These are good, Jan. I'm
Mhm.
impressed. I like them.
And again, you could do pecans, or you could put no nuts in them at all. They just won't make as many cookies.
I
If you
would
take the nuts
probably
out.
do the pecans, but I love walnuts too. I probably will cut my. Okay, so this is Kathy going. I would cut the chocolate chips in half and do more nuts.
Really?
And I have done more nuts.
Uh-huh.
I
But I would cut those chocolate chips in half.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I just
But
prefer
if
to have
you're
more
not a real
nuts.
chocolatey person,
I
Some
am,
people
but
aren't.
you know, these are, you know, they're pretty sweet too.
Yeah, actually, I like them.
Actually, they're pretty sweet.
Mm.
I didn't
You can
expect them
do
to be
so, too.
that sweet, but they pretty much are. And it tastes like molasses, but it isn't. It tastes like brown sugar, but it isn't, which is so freaking amazing to me that my blood sugar is not going to spike.
right?
Yeah.
That is awesome to even think that can even be possible. This is my first cookie in about 7 months, you guys. Wow. Mm-hmm. Comfort
They
food.
will crisp up.
Oh, I love them just like they are.
Yum.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Man, those are so good. I was gonna say a tip though. I know like when some people use walnuts, they can get a little bitter for some people,
Mhm.
and that's why some people don't tend to use walnuts so much. Like, look, they're gonna prefer pecans maybe.
Right.
You can actually soak your walnuts, and soaking them also helps them sprout as well, I believe. But it's more nutritional that way as well. But you can soak them and then let them like dry again or something, out so they're not so wet in the cookie.
Soak them in what?
Water,
Okay.
just pure water.
But you can also roast them just a little bit.
And roast
and that flavor. Same thing with pecans. I've noticed sometimes I've eaten pecans that were like freshly cracked,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, they had this bitter taste to them. And I'm like, oh, But if I roasted them just a little bit, then they were really good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that does that.
Jen's water's probably over there too.
It's way over there. That's all right.
All right. But yeah,
All right.
I'm having another cookie. I don't know about you guys, but we will finish for today with chocolate chips in my teeth, y'all. Y'all see all that? Let me take a little drink of my unsweetened milk that cannot have. Everybody, don't listen. You have to have these two together. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Milk and cookies.
I drink my alkaline water, and that's good too. So yes, you guys. Oh my goodness, I wish you could be here. Jan, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I
This
loved it.
was wonderful. This
If you
is
know where I
absolutely
live,
wonderful.
you better come over.
No,
Try
you
this.
better not.
But you
I'm
know
taking
what?
half of them home.
Nom, 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 nom.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Check out her website for the recipe and for other really good tips. She's got other things on there that's amazing. And just know that Keto Jan is Keto Jan, y'all. She's been doing it for 4 years and has been very
Fire.
successful.
Fire.
So, girl, all right, bye.
She's like, girl, right? Bye. Get out of here. Bye.